Hey everybody, Jake here and welcome to the hobby. Super cool video for you guys. Today I have some PSA graded return for us to go over. Should be a fun batch. We have some Japanese promo vintage Pokemon cards and quite a few neat cards in this PSA return. Some people have wanted me to do a more precise breakdown of my costs, my grading costs, how much did I purchase the cards for, and how much the value of these cards are right now. So I will try my best to go over it as precisely as I can. Let's see how much gain grading these cards added to my collection. Definitely will be pretty exciting. I've been waiting for these cards to come back to me for over 8 months. So very excited to see what grades these cut. I have a list on the side with what I initially paid for these cards, as well as their value if they were graded in a PSA 7, 8, 9, or 10, etc. So it should give us a good idea of what the whole entire net value added to the collection is. And first up, we have ourselves a Hidden Fates Lucario Gx. The shiny Lucario Gx got itself a PSA 9. I am totally good with this card. I pulled this from a Hidden Fates pack opening at the start of 2020. The card was valued around $30. It might be valued up to as much as $50 ungraded. This card in a PSA 9 is currently valued at right around $75. So I will say that the total cost for me on this card is going to be right around $40. It was valued at $30 and I spent $10 grading it. Total value of $75, so we got a net value gain of $35 for this first card. Not too shabby at all. Next up, we got ourselves a gold Lunala Gx from the promo premium collection Hidden Fates box. Those are so expensive right now. And this is a really cool card. I think it's a little bit underrated. The card was so cheap that I picked up multiple copies of this card for, I would say, right around, oh my goodness, $5 is what I paid for this card, raw, ungraded. Cost $10 to get it graded. That's what all of these cards cost me, which was right around $10. This card, PSA 9, not too bad at all, is currently valued at right around, I would say, $50. So some decent net gain as well. If it was a PSA 10, boy, you're talking about a $150 cards. That would be something. Next up, we got ourselves the Solgaleo Gx right next to the Lunala. Also got a PSA 9. I'm totally fine with that. A PSA 9 set is more than favorable to me. Anything below a 9 and I would be a bit disappointed, but I've grown to enjoy the 9 because I'll be honest, this card is pretty much pristine. You're gonna have trouble finding like something wrong with this card at all. Maybe the centering is a little bit off, but as you can see, like zero whitening on this card at all. And it still got a PSA 9, probably due to the centering, something like that. But yeah, I don't really care about PSA 9 or 10 anymore. I would prefer a 10, but a 9, totally fine. Same with the Lunala, so it cost me right around $15 for buying and grading this card, and is currently valued around $50. Next up, hey, now that's what we're talking about, a Rayquaza Gx PSA 10 that is significantly better. This card cost me right around, I would say, $10 to purchase at the start of 2020. Graded cost was an additional $10, so $20 down the drain for this card, but it's currently valued at $400. That's what we're talking about. That's some massive value gain. All right, next up, looks like we got ourselves a Japanese back card and flip. Oh, that is a cool one. We have a 2019 Shibuya Pikachu, also known as the Graffiti Pikachu, a super unique card. Check out that artwork, nothing like it in the hobby, a true one of a kind. This card was so cheap when I purchased it at the end of 2019, so I would say December 2019 was probably when I purchased this card. Raw, ungraded, for $5. It was so darn cheap. Definitely an underrated card at the time. $5 to purchase the card, $10 to get it graded. This card in a PSA 9 condition is currently going for around $100. This card in a PSA 10 worth around $400. So a significant value gain if we were able to get it in a PSA 9 or a PSA 10. Next up, well, speak of the devil, there it is, the PSA 10 Shibuya Pikachu. I usually grade a lot of Pikachu promo cards. They are my bread and butter. I love Pikachu promo cards. I am the most knowledgeable when it comes to Pikachu promo cards, and I can spot a good promo card that is a Pikachu promo from a mile away or a kilometer away if you're international, or I would say actually 2.5 kilometers away. Very cool card. PSA 10, like I said, worth around $400, and it only cost me $15, so a massive value gain added to my collection. Most of these cards I will most likely not sell. If there's a duplicate, I might sell the duplicate, but yeah, I enjoy just having these cards in my collection. And we have ourselves another PSA 9 Shibuya Pikachu. That's totally fine. Card is currently going for $100, and I spent $15 on it for the cost. All right. Next up, and our final Shibuya Pikachu, I believe. I only had 4 in this batch. Another $400 valued card. Great to be added to the collection. We are seriously racking up the asset value from this grading slot. And wow, now that is a card that brings me back, the 2017 Easter promo Pikachu. A classic card, definitely one you should have inside your collection if you are a Pikachu Pokemon card collector at all. Super cool card, and the only Easter themed Pikachu or any Pokemon promo card really. And it says right there, Pikachu's Easter. What a cool tagline. An adorable card, a female Pikachu, which I really love because you don't see enough female Pikachu artwork. This card cost me, I would say, $20 to purchase it. At 2 years ago is when I purchased this card for $20. Graded, it cost $10, so $30 for this card. And in a PSA 10, it is currently worth right around $450. So wow, another massive value gain. That is what I like to see for sure. Very cool. All right, next up. And all right, we got ourselves a PSA 9 Easter Pikachu promo. Significantly less value gain, but still a value gain nonetheless. Spent $20 on it, $10 to get it graded. And in a PSA 9 is worth like right around $150. A third of what the PSA 10 is worth, but most people, most collectors want these in pristine condition. Now I have the PSA 9 and the PSA 10 right next to each other, and honestly, you may not be able to tell the difference on first glance. The one on the right is the PSA 10. They're pretty much identical. It looks like there's a little bit of a scratch right there on the case, but yeah. Honestly, you're going to have a struggle time to tell the difference between a PSA 9 and a PSA 10. So if you are on a budget, just get yourself a PSA 9. They look great on display, same as a 10. But if you are like a hardcore collector and you want that card in perfect condition, then the PSA 10 is going to cost you like triple the cost. And okay, now we're moving on to the stained glass bird trio. I sent a lot of these into PSA, and hopefully they all come back as 10 because that's what I would like to see. This card at the time I purchased it for $10, so very cheap, very affordable. It's still really cheap and affordable if you want an ungraded version of it. It's only right around $10, so very affordable. $10 to send it in for PSA grading, so total cost of $20. And this card in a PSA 10 is currently valued right around $250. So that is a great pick up. Once again, another stained glass bird trio. PSA 10, $250 value, $20 cost. Oh yeah, let's keep this train going. Another PSA 10, $250 value gain. And another PSA 10, that's what we're talking about. Yes, I actually talked to, I think PokeRev was the person who said that he sent in like 20 or 30 of these to be graded by PSA, and they all came back as PSA 10, no issue with any of them, really. So it's pretty wild how well these did in the grading system. So really, really cool. I know I said I have a couple of these from the reprint Hidden Fates tins, and they did significantly worse. Honestly, the reprint versions of the Elite Trainer boxes, or not the tins, the Elite Trainer boxes for sure, that these cards came in, did terrible. There were so many print errors with the reprint version of the Elite Trainer boxes. But yeah, it looks like pretty much every single stained glass bird I sent in got a PSA 10. I'm not sure if we got a single PSA 9 yet, but I'm not complaining. Like, let's keep this train going. And wow, like just $250 for each of these, and it just stacks up so quickly. Let's say we're conservative. Let's say that they're not $250. Let's say they're $200. Let's say they're $150. It's still really, really solid returns, right? If you spent $20 on these stained glass bird trio and they came back as PSA 9, still totally worth it. Yeah, like beautiful condition. Anyone would be happy to have one of these inside of their collection. And I'm really stoked to have so many PSA 10. This is one we're probably going to have to put some up for sale, because I'll be honest, I probably don't need a dozen of these. They just happen to be in my collection and seem to be something that I wanted to get graded, so why not send them in for grading? So I'm happy that they all came back as PSA 10. All right, second box to go, and I can tell you basically on what we've seen from the first box that this second box is going to be perhaps even more exciting than the first one, because in this one we have some vintage cards to go over, and it's always fun to see how the vintage cards grade, because they can be pretty wild in terms of condition. So yeah, should be a very fun batch to go over. First card off the top, an English card, and we have, oh wow, now that is a gorgeous card, a PSA 9 Birthday Pikachu, a gorgeous card. I used to give these out all the time, and boy is this card not something I can give away anymore. Very expensive card. This card, I purchased it originally for $25 2 years ago. Very affordable card, used to give it away all the time for people's birthday. Not so much anymore. This card in a PSA 9 is currently going for $500, and I have it listed here. If this was a PSA 10, it would be worth right around $1,000. Pretty wild that the difference between a PSA 9 and a 10 is so darn significant. And yeah, this one, maybe even a high 9, because I can clearly see some solid whitening right down there. And so yeah, I'm really happy that this got a 9, because that's probably higher than what I could have admittedly expected this card to get. But really happy with that result, can't complain. Only cost me 35 bucks, $25 to purchase the card, $10 to get it graded, and it's worth $500. Huge value gain added to my collection. Next up, okay, this is a little bit more reasonable. See, a PSA 6 Birthday Pikachu. I was purchasing these from all kinds of different stores for the longest time, and this is more recognizable in terms of condition. This is much more reasonable. Let's see if I can even see the difference. Oh yeah, significantly worse than the first one. You can see significantly more whitening around the edges and so forth. So yeah, deserving of the PSA 6. This card in a PSA 6, do I even have it listed for a price at that point? I would say it's going for right around $250. Only cost me 35 bucks, so yeah, you can even see like in a PSA 6, and we still have a massive value gain. And I should also say this, but the value gain is not coming from simply only the grading, right? Because it's been 2 years since I purchased most of these cards, and everyone knows how insane prices have been in 2020. So a solid amount of the value gain is simply from the appreciation of the card rather than simply the grading. But the grading, oh yeah, that helped it significantly. Next up, oh wow, check that out. Now that is cool. We have a 1996 vintage Charizard holo from the Japanese base set. I remember this card. I purchased it from a Japanese vendor. I purchased a Charizard, a Blastoise, and a Venusaur from this vendor. Total cost came to be $60, so I would say I spent $20 for this card. And this card in a PSA 5 is currently worth right around, I would say, $350, so very solid. That Charizard in a PSA 10 is going for right around $8,000 to $10,000. I do have one in a PSA 10, so this one was just an easy card to get graded, right? Because I purchased it from a Japanese vendor for 20 bucks, and for me to ever trade it or sell it or do anything with it, really, I have to get it graded. People are so wary of vintage holo rares right now that having it authenticated makes it so much easier for any form of negotiation, right? Because that is now a collectible card for sure. Ungraded, it's going to be a hard sell. It's going to be a hard trade. Most people would not value that card anywhere near $350 without the grade attached to it. Next up, we have a Blastoise in a slightly better 5.5 condition, a decimal card. That is rare. I almost never see decimal card. I also have this Blastoise in a PSA 10. It's currently going for right around $4,000, but this is not a PSA 10. This is a PSA 5.5. I do not have PSA 5.5 listed on my sheet, but I would say it's close to a PSA 5, so I would just let's undervalue it a little bit, and I would say this card is probably a value right around $150, so significantly less than the $4,000 for a PSA 10, but it is what it is. Only spent $20 to purchase this card from a Japanese vendor, so happy to see it in a PSA anything, really. There was no losing value, even it came back as a PSA 1. 1996 Venusaur Psa 7, a near mint Venusaur, significantly better condition than the Charizard or the Blastoise, but all right, it is the least valuable of the bunch. Poor Venusaur for sure. This card, I also spent $20 to purchase it, $10 to get it graded, so total cost of $30, but it's currently valued around $200. So a little bit better than the Blastoise, but only due to the condition, not because of the card itself. And next up, oh yes, more Pikachu promo. Give it to me. Happy to see the Surfing Pikachu, also known as the Playing in the Sea Summer Promo Pikachu from 2019. Check out that wicked design. Really cool Pikachu. You can't really see it, but Pikachu is definitely smiling as he is surfing. A very cool promo card to have if you are a Pikachu promo collector. This card cost me $10 to purchase ungraded, $10 to get it graded, so total cost of $20. And a PSA 10 version, oh my goodness, it's going for right around $300. So well, yeah, love the Japanese Pikachu promo cards. They are my bread and butter because they do so incredibly well. PSA 9, a little bit worse, valued at $150, so half the price of a PSA 10, but still a massive value gain, and I'm sure plenty of collectors would be happy to have that card inside of their collection. And another PSA 10, keep it coming. Very cool card, $300 value. That is a what, 1,000% return on, or even higher, I think, because we only spent $20 for these cards. $20 on these cards, and they came back being valued at $300. That's what you want to see for your graded return, right? Your collection is worth so much more by having these cards graded, authenticated. It makes trading them easier, it makes selling them easier, it makes everything easier for you when the card is authenticated and graded. So I'm really happy to see this. And the final card in this PSA graded batch, PSA 10 Surfing Pikachu promo. Very happy to see it. I have quite a few of these as extra, so I will probably put some of these on my eBay store. Very cool card to be inside of any collector's collection, and I'm sure some collectors would be more than happy to purchase one of these cards from me. If you want to check out my eBay store, there will be a link down in the description. I very rarely discuss my eBay store, but a big reason that I'm doing it today is because I actually have something to probably trade or sell, so that's probably the reason. In general, I will probably not sell these cards internationally. International shipping has been an absolute nightmare for me. I auctioned off some Pokemon cards for charity in December for a Christmas holiday, and it was a nightmare to sell those cards internationally. There were so many issues. Cards were missing, cards were damaged. It was a nightmare. It took forever. So I'm not going to sell some cards internationally right now. I do apologize for that. But yeah, if you want to pick up some of these cards, do check out the store because I have some cards up for sale now. So that's pretty neat. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been educational and you learn a thing or two about PSA grading and what kind of cards you should grade or how much value gain you can expect back. If you look at the cost, remember it took me 8 months to get these cards back, which is a massive investment because those are assets that you're just not going to be able to touch for 8 months, which is kind of risky in its own way. So yeah, there is some risk and reward to it, but if you can make it work, it can be extremely rewarding. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions at all, leave one down in the comment and I'm more than happy to answer your questions on anything related to PSA grading at all. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are and I will see you guys next time.